Welcome back, everyone. Today we are jumping into a genuine linguistic detective story. We're going to peel back the layers of a single, really powerful word to uncover this hidden history of cultural exchange. It's a story all about mastery, craftsmanship, and a secret that's been hiding in plain sight.
So when we think of Japanese master craftsmanship, there's one word that always seems to come to mind: takumi. It just makes you think of sword makers, incredible sushi chefs, people who've spent their entire lives perfecting a single craft. But what if the very word we use to define this mastery holds a secret about where it really came from?
You see, in Japanese, takumi is so much more than just a word for skill. It's a whole philosophy. It means this profound level of artistry, a state of mastery you can only get to after decades of just relentless practice and refinement. It's really the absolute pinnacle of a craft.
But okay, here is the twist. The story that we all think we know about this quintessentially Japanese concept, well, it might not be the whole story. Its roots might actually lie across the sea, preserved almost like a fossil in the sound of the word itself.
And get this, one really compelling theory says the answer is hidden in a single, deceptively simple Korean word, 닦다. It's proposed that this one verb is the key that unlocks the entire mystery behind Takumi.
So our investigation starts with the first and, the most obvious clue, the sound. How on earth could a Korean word and a Japanese word from two totally different languages end up sounding so similar? Just listen to this. The Korean root of the verb is dak, and the first part of the Japanese word is taku. Taku. The sounds are incredibly close. So, is that just a wild coincidence?
Well, this is where we find a really fascinating linguistic pattern. It turns out this is probably not a coincidence at all. There's a known principle for how ancient Korean words were brought into Japanese. See, the Japanese language back then didn't really have words that ended in a hard consonant, like that ka sound in dak-ka. So to make it work, they'd often add a vowel. In this case, ka becomes cool. So daka just predictably becomes taku.
Okay, so the sound totally checks out, but a real connection needs more than just that, right? The meaning has to line up too. And this is where the story goes from just interesting to absolutely fascinating. The word 닦다 isn't just a simple verb. It's a concept that has these three distinct, evolving layers of meaning, and each one builds right on top of the last.
Okay, look at how this evolves. At its most basic physical level, dakida means to wipe or polish something, like you're polishing a gem. Then on a more functional level, it can mean to pave a road or prepare a foundation. But then at its most profound, abstract level, it means to cultivate a skill, to hone your abilities, to discipline your mind. Sound familiar?
And it gets even deeper because the sound itself carries meaning. It's a thing called sound symbolism. In Korean, that hard D sound often shows up in words that have to do with physical contact and refinement, like dadumda, meaning to refine, or tajida, to harden. The very sound of 닦다 almost mimics that repetitive, forceful action of polishing something until it's perfect.
So we have the phonetic link, and we have this deep, layered meaning. Now let's connect those final dots and see how the process of 닦다 becomes the result we know as takumi. So the crucial point of this whole theory is this. The Korean concept is all about the process, the act of polishing a skill. But when this idea traveled over to Japan, it transformed. The action of polishing, dakken, which means having polished, became the word for the result of that process, the masterful skill itself, takumi.
And you can see this direct connection in the language people use today. In Korean, you polish your skills to become a master. In Japanese, you become a master with skillful techniques. You hone your skill to play the piano in Korean. You play skillfully in Japanese. The process in one language is the state of being in the other. It's like a perfect semantic mirror. It's incredible.
So what does this one little linguistic link tell us about the bigger picture? I mean, what are the real implications of this connection between 닦다 and takumi?
Well, this connection suggests that a word can be exactly like a fossil, perfectly preserving a moment from ancient history. It kind of paints a picture where ancient Korean technology and craftsmen traveled to Japan, and they didn't just bring their skills, they brought their concepts, their entire philosophy. It points to a core idea that mastery is achieved through this relentless polishing and refinement, a deeply shared cultural value.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
If a word as iconic as Takumi holds such a fascinating story of connection and transformation, how many other secrets, how many other shared histories are just hiding in the simple words we use every single day?